an agent's job is supposed to be by law?
By law, an agent is somebody who acts as an intermediary between the buyer and the seller. If it's in the property, between the owner of the property and the prospective buyer, or the tenant and the landlord. So that is basically the function of an agent. But it differs depending on the responsibility. If it has to do with purchase of property, the agent connects the buyer with the seller. It depends on the extent it can go. Some are not qualified to do that. Your own is just introduce, link the prospective buyer with the seller.
Okay.
You hands off. There are people who are qualified to do the documentation, conduct the searches, do the paperwork, and approve before you can give advice on the.
So you are saying that agents are not responsible for making the papers?
Yes, they are not, except those of them who have the qualifying certificate, like, for instance, those who studied estate management in university. That qualifying certificate empowers you to now give advice. Like lawyers who can prepare the deed of assignment. That qualifying certificate as a lawyer gives you the responsibility to give advice.
So, only lawyers and those who study real estate management?
Yes, even a lawyer has an extent of responsibility. It's not in all cases.
It's not in all cases.
Yes. So, but like an example I gave the other time, you can't see a barber who has lost his job and become an agent, getting houses for rent, connecting the prospective buyer and the property owner. You can't see that barber give legal advice or give advice that the person should buy. To what extent does he know? That is what I'm saying. But those who have the legitimate authority to give advice are these people I have mentioned. Even those who study the surveying, land surveyors, also have a role to play, because they have to go to the site and do the survey, charting, and give advice that this land is free from government acquisition and all that. These are also part of the advice they give. But somebody who is a barber suddenly becomes an agent. Can he do charting?
We have a lot of that in the country.
So many. I'm just giving an example. Even shoemakers, anybody has lost his job becomes an agent overnight. It's risible. That is what government should not allow. That is why I'm advocating that for you to practice this as an agent in this exclusive area, you must have the qualifying certificate. So when you give advice, somebody can rely or act on it. Otherwise, any advice you are giving without having the requisite qualification is hogwash. And it can lead a lot of people to astray. In fact, a lot has been led astray. A lot cry every month, every year, because they have relied on the services of these agents, so to say, who are not qualified to practice agency.
There's this one we read last week. We talked about him last week. It was in the news, where